Greetings. Thank you for joining us. Cats are in the background, going crazy. All right, so this is 7 billion program realities, or 7 billion people that are programmed. Are you one of those people? Are you deprogramming yourself? Not everybody has a full program, but quite a few of them do, obviously. But you can't go around telling people what you think, that's for sure. You can't manifest an alien being. Not in today's society. Not yet, at least. So, yeah, basically it's a program. Program within a program within a program. Obviously many are deprogramming themselves, but some feel they're spiritual, which is true, but they also have the programming from religion, which I've mentioned too many times probably by now. Yeah, it depends on what spiritual development you're doing. I think occultism is outside of religion. Gnosticism is kind of religious in some ways. Matrix Reset, and then the Lion City underwater. So I was going to do a feline connection, and picked up by China. So I've done something on that before a long time ago. It's been a while, but it's pretty much preserved. It is known. I can't pronounce Shenzhen, something like that. That's where it's at. And just type Lion City, you can find it pretty easily. I'm not sure if there's not much known about it, sort of, but still, it's like everything else. The 7 billion programmed people here. I don't know, man. I mean, the ascension is working, but I don't know. The rest of society is not interested, sort of. And those that are interested are, at least there's a level of spiritual growth that's still part of some kind of program. You're just breaking free of everything. It takes time. I mean, if you can go anywhere and say whatever's on your mind, then obviously the program is not working anymore. Otherwise, whatever you're tapping into is a program now. You can't really speak your mind for the most part. Even in some spiritual groups, you can't do it. So that's what I call it, the 7 billion program. Not everybody's fully programmed. There's like different versions of the program, but either way, I'm going to tap into that a little bit. That might not make everybody happy, but it's just tough. Then you come prepared. So I thought I was. Okay, we'll just do this. One day. It's on Mythology.com. We have price sessions. I have a shop here. I'm on the 22nd or 23rd. I can't remember anymore. But we're getting somewhere. Let's see with that. And there's Priscilla joining us. And there is the Lion City. Yeah, I mean, they could have this could have been completely erased, but this is showing that we don't have to be, it just this part of history is not necessary for the modern world. I would say when the Tartarians are being erased from the world, of course this is a long time ago, but still, they went down with the Tartarian energy still. That's what he says. That's what it feels like. Maybe not exactly the same time, but the same thing happened to them, happened to the Tartarian energy. So, I believe there was a couple of cataclysms in the past. It wasn't just in recent history. It's been erased from history. Obviously, they call it melted buildings and everything. They just, whoever controls the history books controls everything else. So, you can see that's another reason why we had the wars in the past, like World War II, to erase the history. why so many people died of disease and things like that. So just for us, a major reset. So, all right, okay. All right, we connect to the program reality that's going on right now. The Matrix reset. I don't think it feels like things are going to be slow. Like people are waiting for like things to get going. Like we're going to go into this new age and all that. It's like I'm not sure about that. If you don't mind waiting, because it feels like they're not. Everything is just it's in slow motion right now. So for now, at least. So yeah, until things have to wrap up in some short form or another. Somebody's messing with the background. There's all kinds of madness going on back there. So okay, all right, blessings. Here we go. Yeah, connect to the program. Let's see how it goes. All right, blessings. Greetings. This is a little bit complicated. There are, yes, several different program realities that are happening at this time. You're all part of separate timelines, of course, that connect to the main timeline. But the program realities are coming from your origins, your spiritual origins. Uh, Basically, you're going through what is necessary in this lifetime. So if you take a higher dimensional life, it's going to be much different, but even there will be challenging. No matter what, if you come to this world, obviously have karma to clear. Not everybody does, but quite a few do. Those that have karma to clear, they took the more challenging world to get it over with. This is why so many are healing at this time. A lot of souls are here for the Ryan Wars, and they did choose this a program basically to be connected to your reality, to just live out what they need to live out. Many of them actually died throughout the Ryan Wars and didn't really get to live out their lives. So many of them are actually innocent. And those that were innocent get to have what they want here. For some of you that either fought in the battles or caused some of the battles, you're here to sort things out in your own way. Obviously, we're being a little bit cryptic, but some of you cause some difficulties in other realities are kind of know that in some form or another. Or you're a hero, but even heroes don't always live the best lives. There's consequences to that also. But many of what you call, yes, the Matrix people, a lot of them are just casualties of war in other realities. So they get a pass to live here through this to settle out the universe, to fix it. It is a mess right now. Some of you can remember some of this. Of course, a lot of what we're saying is pretty cryptic. But there's just basically the universe right now it's this world's having trouble, but the universe itself is also. Some of you are having galactic memories, and some of them are trauma connected. Your secret space program is connected to it. There's trauma all throughout this universe, and you're tapping into it. So you come into this reality as to remember yourselves. So if you feel like you're disconnected from humanity, it's not the easiest thing, but it's like you're on a holodeck. And technically you are. But it's different for everybody. I mean, you have the right people around you, but there are others that are programmed. The background people aren't that important, really. It's those that are close to you that you can actually have a conversation with. Those are the ones that matter most. Obviously, everyone matters, but those that you can actually connect with matter because they're there to unlock you from this reality. They're to help you solve what you're here to solve, whatever it might be. It's not always going to make itself clear. You don't have to necessarily look at it as a game, but this world is, yes, pulled into. It's basically a casualty of war for various different reasons. Um, yes, there's all different types of reasons why this world turned into what it is today. It was necessary. Souls lost self-love, as many feel here. Many feel like their life is not, it doesn't matter at all. It's insignificant. It don't mean anything. So you wonder what brought this world down to begin with. It's for in higher dimensional beings go through this, even higher dimensions they go through it. So, but here it's really feeling because you're on this planet, you almost feel like you've been damned forever. Some feel that way, not everybody. Some feel like they're on this planet, they must have did something wrong. That's not always the case. They feel like they've downgraded themselves. And the only reason we're saying this is for you to reactivate yourself, to remember your self-worth. But I believe as a consciousness, we believe many souls feel like they're here, against their will. Like, yes, I was repeat it again. You feel like you did something wrong. And that might not always be wrong, but you also lost your self-worth in all of that. Some have. So you're reactivating yourselves to solve your matrix issue, your own inner matrix. You can name it whatever you want, but humans do have like their own timeline matrix, and you're here to heal it. It has many traps and all. Of course, in the higher dimensions, you'd be going to this. If you chose a higher dimensional reality, it would have been the same thing there, just different. You would remember a little bit more, but you won't be able to heal as fast. Actually, healing faster here. Some feel like they're not healing fast. It all depends. You're solving your problems more than you might realize. If you want to solve them, not everybody here's to solve anything. In the higher dimensions, it's hard to solve because you already know what your problems are. It's hard to solve something we already know what it is. But when you're here, it's like, oh, I have to go to that planet, don't I, to fix this? It's like, yes. And some of you to incarnate here just to clear out karma, just to incarnate here. It's like you're born here, you're clearing out karma instantly. So it's a little bit complicated. We're being as general as possible because there's this many. There's just a lot going on. But some of you can connect to humanity and feel like, did all these people get perished on another planet somewhere? Most likely they have. So they're here living out their lives, and most likely many of you that are awakened to all of this have been in the middle of the action. Like possibly you're part of a planet that was mostly destroyed, possibly. It's difficult to remember. Obviously, this is a part of reality that some are having difficulties accepting. So this is another level of spirituality that some might have difficulties digesting. There's parts of spiritual growth that is love and flowers and everything, but the true traumas on this planet is devastation from other worlds. That's one aspect of it. And some are here to actually heal it. They connect with their love and light energies to heal the patients that are here. They're trying to figure themselves out. And there's a winding road there. So, what's this? Greetings to you. We are the Earth's timeline matrix. We are everything. We are partially Archon, partially Anunnaki. There is a lot of Palladian energies. A lot of your alien beings, it's like they pour in their vibrations here to heal the world. It's like it's almost like buckets of energy they pour into the world, rainbow energies, whatever it might be, to just help humanity continue to go to the next day, and so on. Help the chakra frequencies. It's some of them work within the sun vibrations, some work within the moon. work within the oceans, basically to keep you going. Because the aliens, as many of you know, can see your future, but they can't tell anything about it. They're technically like your spirit guides, but they are in the fourth dimension. They can't be seen here, of course, but they can assist, but they can't say anything. And some of them do fail. Some actually do get killed. At least from their reality. Their souls don't vanish, but they can be defeated. And this is why some of you feel like your guides aren't working and all of that. Well, some of them are under major attack and they're losing. There's a lot of that happening here. So a matrix reset, you're going through one right now, but not a major one where history books are basically, now obviously you have your internet. The internet can easily be deleted in certain places. We don't see that happening, but that could happen. It's not likely. Many of you are here to preserve the knowledge of what is necessary. Also, for you're diving into the history to bring in the true history. Of course, there's many truthful histories, but basically you can say technically you're here to stop the reset or have a better reset or an easier reset. Of course, you're going through a great deal of it, but it has not come to the level where they start deleting everything as they have in the past. Not yet, at least, but some of you might see that in your lifetime. You're wondering about cataclysms or whatever it might be that you might fear. Like your money system, that's like a reset, a financial reset, as you know. Usually resets aren't able to be predicted, though. Now, some can predict it actually to the day, but most can't. At this point, it shows that it is in the works, but not likely to happen anytime soon, at least for now. But the matrix frequency that's here, maybe you're tapping into it too, even to make sure that if there is a financial reset, it's done in the proper way. And in any or weather reset, of course, your weather in some of your parts of your world are freezing for no reason. Siberia goes through it quite a bit. But there is an energy that you're here to change overall, where once again, you're here to preserve the past, the best of your ability, question the past. And basically those that manipulate the past to show themselves eventually. They're not about to do so just yet. But also we feel like parenting will change in the future, maybe not worldwide, but more understanding of the spiritual abilities that's going on. And that's the other thing, many do feel like they're spiritually aware, but they're still programming their kids and not realizing. It tells you how sophisticated this whole program is. Well, it's basically just letting your kid be your kid. Just teaching them about the world and even teaching how controlling it is. But just basically let the kid be a kid, and less rules the better, actually. Obviously, many parents aren't ready. Well, there's a lot of parents here that are archon beings that are deadly, practically, that are abusive, like you would not believe. Just the evil stepmother beyond that, actually. And it's there to keep the world in a physical state. It's just there to teach it. It's to slow down the timelines also. Well, for your world to have some kind of balance, it does have a balance. It might not feel like a balance, but it has a balance. Because many of you incarnate at the higher frequencies, you want to just turn your world over, transform it tomorrow. Like, here's the 12th dimension, have a nice day. And technically, you could do that right now. But there's forces here that's not allowing it just yet, because there are lessons that are here to be learned. It'll cause an avalanche of transformation that the world. So you wonder why the negativity is here. It's to anchor the planet it's to put the brakes on the ascension. Now the ascension is working. It's just very, very slow. Many of you feel it. You feel it working. You feel maybe some backlash, because many of you have enough power to really shift this world into another place altogether. And the world is just not really designed for that. The people here are not designed for that. And you're just being yourself. You're not here to harm anyone at all. You're here just to shift the frequencies to this new earth and just make it better for everyone. But not everybody is ready for that, as you know. So it has to happen slow. So there are beings here that are set up, and call them Archon beings, that are designed to slow the Earth's to slow things down a little bit. And it might be slow, and you might even feel it when in your own frequency. So here you're sending energy to the Earth, this high abundance of frequency, and then you might get drained and feel tired after that. What you did was good, but also it's cycling through the Earth's frequency. So you don't see any major resets, no. At least that ones we can't talk about. There is a financial reset, but not the one that you might think. It's not a major one. It's more of a minor one, but obviously minor is not always. It's minor, but it's not what people think. There's always going to be some kind of financial reset because there's a lot of trickery going on in the financial systems. That's why. But yeah, it'll be most likely just another day. It won't be that obvious. As for a world, now the other one would be a government reset, not a full reset of just toss them all out. No, but there's a lot of governments are being slower renewed. They're not showing it at all. They're showing the corruption, but also they're going to be recycled and reset eventually. You can say they're in that process, not full process just yet. Well, minor changes, but still minor changes, but also drastic. There's also going to be a lot of building on the planet eventually for more of the higher frequencies, more technologies. Now, the timeline of that is not clear, but more not exactly sci-fi, higher dimensional technologies, but a version of it. Once again, many of you have the ability to just snap your fingers, and now you're in the future. I believe some of you know who you are. I mean, you can snap your fingers, all of a sudden you're 3000, just like that. Because you can visualize it, you can feel it, because you're living there. But as you can see, this planet is a swampland in some regard. It's not all of that, but you are healing it where it will improve where it needs to. So it's just slow. It's like a grandfather planet or its great grandparents. It's just it has a lot of knowledge, but it knows what's right. It rejects some ideas, but keeps the good what is needed. So it can't reject all the healing it receives. No, it does work, and it can cause a timeline jump. Not a major one. Well, for example, your presidencies can be skipped. Like you're going to have this candidate, but you skip to another one. You might not always realize it. That's a little more complicated to tap into to see it, but it's like if you do it from this candidate, things will be the same. But you skip over this other candidate, you're actually going to the future. That person would have ran in the future and all that. It's a little bit complicated there. So, well, like some people see future timelines of. The reason we bring up politics because they play as a bit. Basically, you're like your modern wizards, timeline wizards. They make the rules technically, not really, but they go by what the collective wants. Like they make a rule that affects everybody, basically, as some of you realize. So they do have that timeline bandits. Timeline bandits do incarnate within politicians and change things. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. It all depends. Your politicians are your guinea pigs of your timelines. So they can be altered. They can be all kinds of things can happen there. So meaning that some of you might see a candidate. Some of them have been candidates of other timelines, other realities, and you can see them as a president and they end up not being a president, and so on and so on. And you can get more confused with that. But because some of those president people that you see have been presidents of other timelines you've been a part of, which makes things more complicated. So, blessings. Greetings. We are the Hawaiian city, Hawaiian consciousness. There has been places of your world like Egypt. We had Hawaiian people walking around. Your China had places like that in the past. Of course, you've also had canine people. Oh, that was erased. The canines, all they wanted to do is reproduce. They fancied the human here. But the feline was here to keep steady energies for humans to have the correct, to fulfill what they're here to fulfill. Even some feline beings felt rejected by humans and felt disconnected from society. Because one of your timelines was to have aliens and humans interact with each other, to live among each other, even in the third dimension. Basically, you have a lion person as a brother or a sister, which might be a little weird, but those timelines do exist. And we're meant to be part of your society. Well, if you're growing up into it, it's not a big deal. It's like, is my brother going to be a boy and girl? Was it going to be a cat or a dog? There's potential timelines for that. The reason we're bringing this to you is the past is, yes, a place of the insane, as you see with mythology. So we're just bringing this back to you because some of you have been part of societies like that. There's actually been cow people here. Most of them have been humanoid. Yes, they have little cow ears. Some of them have been cow face beings, but that's a little bit heavy for some people to remember. You give them nightmares. But also can give people the best joy in the world being around a cow person. Of course, that's not really seen in much mythology for obvious reasons. Because they decide to be part of the human in a different way. Through, as they are connected to you now. So yes, it's supposed to be a different world altogether. Now, how would something like that be decided? Like, we're just going to have humans here. It's just the evolution of the planet. It was like the planet decided for you and for everyone. Because many of you would actually feel it'd be a different world if you just had cat people and canine people here. Just to keep it at that. But obviously that wasn't to be. You can still see those energies, but in a human form, though. And we can go on and on with that one, especially the mantis people. Some people feel more comfortable around mantis people. But as you can see, can you imagine what the news would look like? It's like, you have this human in a mantis family. That would be quite humorous. But you still have those mantis families, but they're all human. So yes, the next dose of your reality is connecting to your mythology and remembering your place there. Eventually that will come through. It's a lot of deep wounds there. A lot of loss of life during the time of your mythical beings. Because that's when the reset was to clear out your alien. When your gods went away, your aliens went with them. Because those were the aliens, basically. I shouldn't be. Some of you have actually been in those positions yourselves. Maybe not drawn on walls and all that, but you've been beings like that. Some of you have. You can remember slightly. Of course, as you have demonic beings that came here or are still here, and most of them are running your reality. Yeah, the demon beings, yeah, they're running pretty much everything, as some of you know. This is why the bad guys always win. Because their bad guys are running everything. Obviously, it's easy to keep a corrupt presidency going when everything is bad around them. When you have your secret agencies and shadow governments, and they're all pretty much evil, it's easier to keep the facade going if you have not noticed yet. Your religions can be good, but a lot of them are bad, but not all completely. It's like religion is for some like a neutral place. It's like, we'll tell you how things are going. You might not like what you hear, but it is like a neutral. Some religions are neutral, not all of them. I mean, you can go to a church and those controlling your reality are just lay it all out right in front of you. It's like, oh, so that's how you do everything. Okay, have a nice day. Because there's nothing you can do about it. Well, you can by making awareness of it, as you are doing now. You are here to shift the corruption, but it's always nice to know who you're fighting. That makes things more complicated, doesn't it? You know, there's a shadow government, you know, of the human trafficking. We can't quite pinpoint where all this is connected. So it's hard to win when you don't know who you're winning against. So the best thing to do is just keep doing what you're doing, whatever it might be, just to be. Because like in your mind, you already know that there's a lot of controlling systems here. You're not going to be a part of it. That says a lot. You're not be part of the system. You're keeping your sanity. That's a big deal. Just that. So you're wondering what you need to do for humanity. You're doing it right now by staying calm and not losing your mind. Even if it is easy to go crazy. Because you're used to doing things. You're used to fighting against the dark. And it is darkness. Some people say it's this and that, but it's technically darkness. There is good in darkness, though, but they're not about to reveal themselves just yet. Well, why should they? When they feel like they're so clever, why should they reveal themselves to make? And besides that, they don't feel like you would win anyway. But they're not. It's like a magician. They have their tricks how they do things, but they're not about to reveal it just in case you find a way to topple them down. That doesn't mean you won't win this war. You will, but you have to do it on your terms. You define that. What you're going to do with yourself here. It's not the best answers, no. Like, how do you solve the world's problems? Well, you just work on your own reality. Because if you go against that, as some of you know, if you get led to open up reality for others, then so be it. But if that's not happening, just work with your energy field that you have now. That's what matters. I know many feel like they can do more, and you probably can, but this world is not allowing it. It's like, not that you want to go to war, but you just want to heal this in some ways, in a peaceful way, and you're doing it by having a moment of silence, you can say. It's not exactly silence, but it's kind of like that. Well, society is making it easy to be silent. But this is how you advance yourself, too. It doesn't mean you have to do anything. You can do whatever you feel like you need to do. But healing the world doesn't make it easy. It's like you feel like you can stop a war, but obviously you're not seeing because it's a silent war. It's an invisible war. It's a lot more complicated. When it's complicated like that, you just do what your heart is saying for you to do and what you feel is best for you. That's all we can say, because the silent war will make itself more known to you eventually. It's like, oh, maybe it's best I didn't do anything or say those things I wanted to say. Obviously, you already tried to do that in your people around you already. Just friends or family, and you tell them what you believe in. Obviously, they shoot you down in 5 seconds. For the most part, they do. That would change for some, but your environment shows how the world is. There's always a person that's completely programmed. There's others that are half programmed, and so on. And yes, many are having a war with their family currently, or healing those energies. Some people have peace with it, which is good. But family, that's part of you can say part of the Orion War. The families are infiltrated on other realities. They came here. Took a while to take over this planet. Some might feel like it was quickly, but not really, because the families had to be infiltrated. And that's easier said than done.